Come check this. Come check this. Come check this.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the MXGP of Australia here, presented by Sitzler. We are in Darwin, Northern Territory at the Hidden Valley Motorsports Complex. The last time we came to an Australian Grand Prix was back in 2001, Broadford, 75 kilometres north of state capital Melbourne in Victoria. And on that occasion, it was a triple header format. So we had 125s, 250s and 500s. In the 125 division, James Dobb took the win in that category as Mikael Pichon and Stefan Everts secured victory in the 250 and 500cc classes, respectively. But all the headlines that day were about the home rider, the late, great Andrew Sharkey McFarland, who celebrated the second step of the podium in front of a raucous home crowd. That was 32 years ago, but now we're back in Australia for the first time since that memorable day, where world titles in MX2 and MXGP are still up for grabs. If you're joining us for the first time today or this weekend, here's a look at this brand new venue and our GoPro track preview with Tim Gajser and Honda HRC, and what a fantastic venue it is. The hospitality here has been absolutely stupendous. It's been amazing, top-notch, and absolutely second to none. Even the riders have separate areas where they've got their ice pools, their ice baths, their fridges, big relax areas, in air-conditioned bays with TV monitors and timing screens all around that area. So they've really gone over and above. It's about 85 or 90 metres down to turn one, through this left, flip-flop right, heading uphill. There's your Fox hole shot line on the crest. Then we've got another little single before we hit turn three. And as we get out of there, we start to climb uphill for the first time over the city jump. This is turn four over the tunnel. And then we drop downhill, braking bumps and ruts and all kinds of things down here. Now from the finish line, where you'll see as we rejoin onto the start straight, the end of sector one is about now as we go through turn 6 and into turn 7. Again, plunging away on the exit, a mixture of sand and hard clay. Jump faces all clayed up. There's your Monster Energy tabletop. And as we go through turn 8, through this turn, that caught some riders out. Yes, they just lose in the front on takeoff. And as we kink left downhill through the Liqui Moly jump, again, big braking bumps through here and ruts all throughout the track. Plenty of passing opportunities through this part of the racetrack. If you watched MX2 a moment ago, that's where that incident happened a few laps from the end of the race. Through this left, again, some single waves just to, again, to upset the balance of the bike through that turn, so you're not powering through that turn. Stepping down here, another big moment off of that jump towards the end of the race as well in MX2. But a short burst here, split section. Inside seems to be favouring, but if you are close enough, you can maybe just force the issue back into this right-hand turn if you are close enough, as I said. A tricky little rut starting to form there as you go under the Monster Energy jump there, because riders are coming in and then standing them up out towards the pit lane area. This is 2 corners to go. You can go double, triple, double through this wave section, but this is the final turn. You come out there, you can just float over this crest on the gas. Here's the Monster Energy finish line jump now, and so from here, where we turn right back onto the start straight through turn 1, this left-hander to the bottom of the hill a moment ago, that is the end of sector 1, but that is a lap of the Hidden Valley Motorsports Complex. Yesterday was absolutely scorchio here, 35, very hot, boiling hot. Today we've had a bit of cloud cover, but it's still very, very muggy and humid. But the fans out there on the hillsides absolutely spoiled to some top-notch racing throughout the weekend. WMX World Championship came to an end over the last couple of days. Race 1 yesterday, race 2 today. Won't spoil that, just in case you want to watch it later on playback. But Lisa Leyland caught up with a couple of people down on the grid. One of them was former racer and former member of the paddock, Jed Beaton, who unfortunately got injured earlier this year chasing an MX1 championship at home here in Australia.
Okay, so I'm just on the start line. We're almost ready for the first MXGP race of the day. Will we have a world champion after this race? Who knows, but it's going to be a good one. But with me now, I have someone that we haven't seen for, I think it was like 3 years. It's Jed Beaton. Jed, it's been a long time, but it's great to see you back at MXGP. What have you been up to? It looks like you're carrying a little bit of an injury there. Give us an update.
Yeah, so I haven't been around for like 3 years, so it's obviously just good to come back and catch up with everyone. I've just been racing the Australian motocross and supercross series now. It was going really well, and then unfortunately this year had an injury, so yeah, out for the rest of the year, but all seems like it's going well at the moment, and hopefully back on the bike soon.
Jed, just tell us, being Australian yourself, how important is it for the MXGP of Australia to be here in Australia again, the first time in like 24 years? How important is it for Australian motocross?
Oh, it's unreal. Like, I wish it was a few years ago when I was still racing GPs to actually have a home GP, but honestly, it's so good for the sport, and I've spoke to many of the riders. They all seem to like the track and the venue, so in that side of things, I think it's a really good thing also, and hopefully in the years to come, us guys can come and race it. Hopefully it's a little bit earlier in the year, so we're not preparing for Supercross. But
Jed, it's great to see you here and enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so another special guest here on the start of the MXGP race. I have Minister of Tourism and Events, Marie-Claire Boothby, and I'm also joined by the CEO of Tourism for the Northern Territory, Susanna Bishop. But firstly, I'll come to you, Minister. Just tell us, after 24 years, how important is it to have world-class motocross in Darwin, in Australia? Because I do believe it's a massive thing for the territory, but also you've got news as well coming up.
That's right. It's so fabulous to have this kind of event right here in Darwin at the top of Australia. And of course, we just want to tell the world that Darwin and Australia is literally the best place to come. So if you haven't been here this year, then get out and book your tickets for next year, because we already have the dates locked in for 2026, and it's 18th to the 20th. And you can buy your tickets now, which means you can plan your trip a year out. And of course, it's at the same prices as we put on for this year. It's fabulous.
I think that's going to make the fans very happy, a year in advance as well. How happy would the fans be? Because there's fans from all over the world coming here to Darwin just for this reason.
And Australia is a bucket list destination for many of your viewers. I mean, this is the best time to plan a trip, lock it in, and go to the website mxgpaustralia.com.au and secure your ticket. Come to this wonderful place.
I tell you, we're so happy to be here, and we're having an incredible weekend. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day, ladies. Thank you. Okay, well, now it's crunch time. It's time for the first MXGP race of the day.
All the formalities done then. Ahead of MXGP Race 1, 30 minutes plus 2 laps. They got the best seat in the house. Yes, it is very, very warm on the bankings. They are under the trees. They are sheltered, but take a look at what happened in the qualifying race on Saturday. The final qualifying race of 2025 then got underway here at Darwin, Australia in the Northern Territory. Lucas Coenen over on the right-hand side came across Herlings and Febvre. Febvre, of course, leading by 47 points over Coenen. Coming into this final round, the Belgian thinking he was still got a possible chance of winning the championship, and he still does, because that gap is down to 46 after this qualifying race. Coming through the turn here with Jago Kietz. He made a fantastic start there, but it was Guadagnini who got himself quickly into second, as Tim Gajser, just a few positions further back, was trying to put in a charge as well. You see Lucas Coenen already disappearing out of sight in the opposite direction. So Paul Schoener's got his teammate up the inside of him. And that was Romain Febvre then taking over that third place. He then went after Mattia Guadagnini for second. Coenen now too far down the head of the field to try and do anything about it. Tim Gajser got the better of Brian Bogers around about mid-race. as he put in a charge to an eventual 5th place, as his teammate, number 70, Romain Fernandez, carved his way to an eventual 6th place finish. Lucas Coenen then. So Lucas Coenen then, apologies there for one or two issues there, but Lucas Coenen taking his 8th qualifying race win of the year. Febvre was 2nd, Guadagnini 3rd, Calvin Villaren 4th, Tim Gajser 5th. Coming into the weekend, it was Febvre on 47 clear of Lucas Coenen, but it's now 46 because they went 1st and 2nd in that qualifying race. And Romain Febvre can get the job done here in race 1, of course. Mathematically, it is still possible because just 50 points left on the table. So it's going to take something catastrophic for Febvre not to win here this weekend. Lucas Coenen, though, he'll go out and he'll probably just want to go 1-1 if he can and just dominate this Grand Prix just to let everybody know what the situation is. Good sportsmanship there from Lucas Coenen to Romain Febvre. Febvre with a big smile on his face. That was almost a smile to say, yep, I think we all know what's going to go down here. And finally, Febvre breaks a smile ahead of MXGP Race 1. Here's how the riders line up. Lucas Coenen on pole for the 8th time this year from Romain Febvre. Mattia Guadagnini on the Aruba.IT Ducati, a best qualifying position of the year for him. He got 7th in Argentina at the opening round. Calvin Villaren goes to line 4th for Monster Energy Yamaha, ahead of the 2 HRC Hondas of Gajser and Fernandez. Jeffrey Herlings was very below par yesterday in the qualifying race. Didn't make a good start. Wasn't his usual aggressive self and started outside of the top 10 or 12. Well, actually, his start was good. He was just ahead of Febvre, and then he must have made a mistake on the opening lap that we didn't see, because the next time we saw him, he was around about 14th, 15th place. Eventually came back to 7th, but by then, Fernandez was too far down the track. Lucas Coenen on pole for the 8th time this year. Knows he has to come in this weekend to win every race just to try and affect things. Part 1 of 3 was achieved in the qualifying race by winning that in fine style. Romain Febvre on his 220th Grand Prix start, hoping to be crowned world champion for a 2nd time. He needs to finish 16th or higher if Coenen wins this first race. So far, from what we've seen this year, that looks like an unlikely scenario, but you never know. We've had stranger things happen in championship chases. Just ask Michele Rinaldi. 1984. Corrado Maddy was leading the championship heading into the final round. Michele Fantoni, I believe it was, riding as a wild card in his first ever Grand Prix, doing practice starts on the start straight during the free practice, as you were allowed to back then. Didn't see Corrado Maddy out of his peripheral vision. The two collided. Maddy went down, picked up a major leg injury, wasn't able to line up for the final round of the season. Maddy still had to secure enough points to win the championship, and he was able to do so. Not saying lightning can strike twice, but we've had stuff like that happen before. 1984, that happened. Maxime Renault going to the line in 9th place. Another rider who didn't make a good start, then fell, then had to work his way back through traffic. Glenn Coldenoff, Fantic Factory Racing MXGP, has secured 3rd overall in the 2025 standings. He did that 1 week ago in China. In the qualifying race, he ended up in 11th, not picking up points in that session, but he will be hoping for better here today. 28 riders lining up in MXGP this weekend for this final round. That is a fantastic view, isn't it? Fantastic spectacle. And we just heard from the tourism minister just at the pre-grid a moment ago that we were back here next year. So if you're not here this year and you like what you see, get over here next year for this Australian Grand Prix. The Fly Racing 15-second board up for the penultimate time in 2025. MXGP Race 1, 30 minutes plus 2 laps. Can Romain Febvre get the job done, or will we have to wait somehow for it all to be determined in Race 2? Coenen makes a better jump there, banging bars coming out of that first turn. Febvre switches back to the inside, recovers well, He'll tip around the inside as well. He'll come out in what, third, second? A couple of riders go over the berm. Coenen with the foxhole shot. Herlings there in second. Febvre in third. Gajser in fourth. Gajser striking early though, down the inside of Febvre, and moves into that third place right at the very first time of asking. And Guadagnini with another flying start as well. Febvre in the heat of the battle immediately. But it's Coenen who leads once again, just as he did in the qualifying race. Fernandez and Jonas here. We had a bit of rain towards the end of MX2 race 1, so there was a few greasy patches out on track. Everything looks like it's about okay on this opening lap of MXGP. But Coenen leads, Herlings second, Gajser third. Herlings and Gajser looking to end 2025 on the top step of the podium if they can. Lucas Coenen wanting to do the same, just to let everybody know as we go into the winter break that he is here for the long term. Guadagnini trying to fight his way past Febvre as they get out of that long left. Guadagnini on that Aruba.IT Ducati. His teammate Seewer in 23rd place. Not enjoying life at the moment this last few races, that's for sure. Villandren in there as well in 6th. Fernandez, Jonas, Koldenhoff, Renault and Geerts 10th and 11th. We won't get an official lap count until we hit the finish line twice. So finish line to finish line, because the start straight just here to our right. But it's Coenen who leads by more than 2 seconds over Jeffrey Herlings. Gajser all over the back of him. A bit of a gap to Romain Febvre. Oh, look at this. Renault. Massive crash. Him and Jonas came together. Watch, they came together through that wave section. Renault out spectacularly. Jonas stays up in 9th place. So a lot of work to do then for Maxime Renault. Wrong place, wrong time in that scenario. I think that was coming out of the right-hander just after pit lane with those waves downhill into the penultimate corner. Well, Romain Febvre was hoping for a good start. He got one. And all he needs to do now is just stay out of trouble, the championship leader. Remember, if Coenen wins, he needs 16th or better to be crowned world champion. Red plate, red gloves for the championship leader. He can just sit and watch this. In fact, he's got the best seat in the house at the moment, watching 2 5-time world champions, Herlings and Gajser, go at it for second position here. So it was a lackluster performance from the Bullet in the qualifying race on Saturday. But now he's got this better start and clear track. Can he do anything about Coenen? Can he get involved with that championship battle? Who knows? As it stays like this, with Febvre just sitting there up above that 16th position. Championship is going to France and Kawasaki anyway. Gajser getting closer to Jeffrey Herlings. Towards the end of this second lap, looking to go around the outside as the Bullet goes defensive. No way through there though. Sits back, decides to try again. See him committing to those outside lines. Got his first podium since his injury in Switzerland, round 6. That was a week ago in China, second overall that day. Herlings the overall winner. Fernandez was third, both Honda HRC riders on the podium. But now that the sun has come back out, we are getting closer to the temperatures that we experienced yesterday, where it was very, very hot. It's not been too bad, it's just been hot in a different way with the humidity and the threat of rain lurking all around us. So far, we have escaped any kind of heavy downfall. Oh, hello. Bonjour, Romain. Welcome to the party. Thinks, you know what, while I'm in this position, might as well try and go out with a bang. Let's see if I can get top 3, top 2, and then maybe seal it with a win. Because the gap between first and fourth place Febvre is only 7 seconds. Say only. We know Lucas Coenen, no slouch, already got 13 race wins in his rookie season so far in MXGP. the most race wins out of anybody. Febvre only has 9. Watch this here. A little bit out of shape there for Gajser, but nothing too extraordinary. Just getting wind that Maxime Renault has not rejoined the race. So, not sure if Lisa can go and get a report from somebody down there from Yamaha. So Maxime Renault then unfortunate in that incident with Paul Jonas at the start of the race, just towards the end of that first lap. But Tim Gajser now under pressure from Romain Febvre. Febvre fancies his chances here, doesn't want to just win the championship with a mediocre, lackluster 4th place. Wants to go for a top 3 position if he can get it. Wants to go out in style, wants to get a podium. Missed that opportunity last weekend in China, 4th overall, when he put a massive dent in Lucas Coenen's championship hopes, taking it from 30-odd points to 47. Only missing the podium for the 3rd time this year. Got a 5th in Kozar in Spain, round 2. 5th in the Netherlands, round 17. 4th in China. He's going to win the championship, wants to be on the podium. Well, to do that, he's going to have to go against Coenen, Herlings and Gajser here. And also, just from a personal point of view, there's a lot of people talking about the fact that, you know, he's only in this position because Herlings wasn't around the whole season and Gajser wasn't around the whole season. His reply simply, you've got to be in it to win it. Same for Lucas Coenen. And between them, they have done their fair share of race wins, Grand Prix victories, podiums. They have been the top 2 in this championship, no matter what, regardless of everything else going around. So this one would just be nice for Febvre, just to say, yeah, I don't have to challenge you, but I would prefer to try and get my sleeves rolled up and get stuck in. Downhill, rutty section. Lucas Coenen, 5.5 seconds clear of your race leader, Jeffrey Herlings. He's now 8.6 seconds clear of Febvre in 4th. Where was this performance a week ago? Lucas Coenen. It's what everyone's been asking. It was the same in the qualifying race yesterday, but just look at the way that he's just dancing around, just soaking up some of those bumps on the front end, then just picking them up and dancing on the back end. Definitely looking at one with the machine once again is the number 96 on that Red Bull KTM. About to complete his 4th lap of this Hidden Valley Motorsports complex here in Australia, Darwin in the Northern Territory. And if you weren't with us earlier, I was just talking about how much of a great job the organising committee have done here to not only build this facility, the way that it races and performs. Everything has been taken care of in terms of the paddock for the riders, their chill-out areas, their ice baths, their cool baths, monitors in those zones as well, and timing screens, so they can sit back and watch everything that's going on here between the races and stay out of the heat. Don't get that anywhere else. Fridges as well to keep drinks and everything cool. They really have gone above and beyond, even for the media. Gifting alongside Jonas, the JK Racing Yamaha rider, going after the factory Kawasaki of BJ on the number 41. These two fighting over 9th place. Gifting looking to run it down the inside of the Latvian, and does. Can he make the pass stick? Yes, he can, because when they come back in the opposite direction, just thinking whether Jonas would be able to sneak up the inside, not able to get through there. So Gifting now into 9th. Heading downhill then. Gifting having a big moment in the time practice session yesterday, coming out of that right-hander just before they passed pit lane. The rut stood him upright. He ended up sort of going off the side of the track into pit lane. Here's Jeremy Seewer. He's chipping away. He's got himself up to 13th now for Aruba.IT Ducati. Brian Boger's just ahead of him in 12th place. Trying to go out 2025 with a decent result, Jeremy Seewer, because as he's been saying in recent post-race interviews, not able to get through there. that time around, even though he had the inside line, Boger's doing just enough to stay ahead of the Ducati. He'll try again here down the inside. And again, Ducati not able to get on the gas as Boger's had that outside line momentum on his Fantic. So he tries to switch it up again for a third time, and maybe when they get the other side of the finish line, can he cut up the inside and sweep through turn one and make the pass at the top of the hill here? That's the incentive of Seewer. Again, he'll switch back here, but Boger's just too good at the moment. Still keeping Seewer at bay here. Said yesterday in his time practice, he knows he's better than the results that he was. This was in a pit lane interview that we did with him. Knows he's better than the results he's showing on paper. Just frustrated at whatever situation he finds himself in. Probably even more frustrating for him is that Guadagnini, his teammate, third in the qualifying race on Saturday and currently circulating in 5th place here today. Haven't seen that kind of form from Guada since the opening couple of rounds of the season, where he got 2 fourths at the first 3 rounds. First round in Argentina and then round 3 in Saint-Jean-d'Angely. 4th overall, just missing the podium. And what was a fantastic start for the Dukes in 2025. Take another look at the start then, shall we? Febvre still not able to find his way past Gajser. Here's how it went down, over on the right-hand gates. Febvre didn't make the best jump. He cuts back here, look, immediately. And as everybody else ran wide, and Coenen grabs the foxhole shot at the top of the hill. Look at that, Febvre re-emerges in 3rd place, just behind Jeffrey Herlings. And for Lucas Coenen, his 13th foxhole shot of the campaign. Good start for Guadagnini there at top of the hill as well. Look, in 5th, just behind Gajser. Verlanderen was to his left. Verlanderen now in 7th place, just behind Ruben Fernandez. In terms of the championship battles, obviously, we know the World Championship, if it stays like this, is going to go to France. Romain Febvre and Kawasaki. Coenen will secure 2nd. Koldenhoff has secured 3rd already. Fernandez was only 18 points clear of Jeffrey Herlings, who's in 2nd. Fernandez circulating in 6th place at the moment. So that one is going to go down to the wire. That's quite a big position in the championship for someone like Ruben Fernandez. Jeffrey Herlings, with his 5 world titles, anything other than top step, not good enough, and maybe just, yeah, not fussed about, especially with the season that he's had with his setbacks and one thing or another. Glenn Koldenhoff, 3rd overall in the 2025 championship. The Fantic Factory Racing MXGP rider has been fantastic in 2025. Very, very consistent throughout the whole campaign. In terms of podiums, 6 of those in this season. Got himself a race win as well, which is something that Fantic hadn't done before as well. So a race win, multiple podiums, 3rd overall, bronze medal for the manufacturer. Right, here is Ruben Fernandez. He is in 6th, Guadagnini just ahead of him. So Honda HRC here versus the Aruba.IT Ducati. Look how this racetrack just opens up. You've got so many multiple lines where they've just let the circuit breathe. They haven't tried to overwater. They understand the dirt perfectly well here, the local track crew. And I think that's a massive plus for this circuit here in the Hidden Valley. Dark cloud looming over to the left. Up and over this step up. Middle of the circuit, deep ruts, steeper descent than it looks. There's so much going on with the motorcycle as well. Front end, back end, upper body. And then coming out of that turn as well, like those accelerating bumps now. Side panel hanging off the side of Ruben Fernandez Honda. So not sure if he's just been in a bit of a tussle with somebody early on. But not good for the airbox. And the filter tucked just behind his right leg there. I'm sure it's okay though. he says. 15 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Frustrating, though, if you can feel it. He'll be thinking, what is that? Flapping around, but fortunately at the moment, doesn't look like it's causing him too many problems. Herlings in second, but not able to do anything about Lucas Coenen, who's just set the fastest lap on lap 8, 1:37.772. Herlings was a 1:39.8. Gajser with his best lap was a 1:39.1. Gap between him and the Bullet is 2.1 seconds. Febvre about 1.5 seconds, 1.6 seconds further back. Then we've got 9 seconds back to Guadagnini in 5th, who has got Fernandez breathing right the way down his tailpipe. There's Gajser just in the background. Herlings have dealt with Tiga for now. Nine laps complete. Lucas Coenen now 8.4 seconds clear of Jeffrey Herlings, who still trails in lap times, 1:38.4, 1:39.7. Gajser a couple tenths quicker than the Bullet again, as he chips away at Herlings' second place. Febvre, as we said before, he's in championship winning mode right now. He tried to take a challenge to Gajser, but the Slovenian holding firm. Here's Calvin Verlanderen, Monster Energy Yamaha factory MXGP team. He arrived here 22 points behind Herlings, 35 clear of Renault. Well, Renault's not going to cause him any problems there, but he was 19 down on Herlings after the qualifying race earlier in 6th place. And watch this here. This was Jonas getting out of shape and causing that massive crash for Maxime Renault. Unfortunate, wrong place, wrong time. Oh, very lucky not to get clipped several times as he tried to get off the track there, Maxime Renault. So Renault in 7th, not going to add any points to his tally today. And as we hear, he's not rejoined the race after that crash. Wonder whether he's picked up any niggling injuries that will prevent him even lining up for race 2, who knows. Bonacorsi charging downhill for Fantic in 14th place at the moment. He started the weekend 19 down, or race 1 at 19 points down on Maxime Renault. 8th place in the championship, Renault 7. We know Renault's not going to add any more points. And so all of a sudden, Bonacorsi may have the opportunity in race 2 to take over that 7th place in the final standings. Very static, the race at the moment. Coenen leading by 8.5 minutes, put in a couple of supercharged laps early on to put some distance between himself and Herlings and Gajser. The battle hasn't materialised between the two 5-time champs, because that gap now 2.2 seconds. And Febvre, the champion-elect, just lurking behind there in 4th place. Doesn't seem too keen to get interested in that battle either. And Jeremy Seewer still searching for a top 10 position here in Australia. Currently in 13th, half a second he was behind Bogers. Still not able to find his way past the Fantic. Then he's got Geertz and Jonas ahead of him. They're a few seconds further up the track. Oh, heavy landing there for Seaweed. Working his way towards the end of lap 11 though. Number 96, Red Bull KTM, Lucas Coenen. In a class of his own at the moment. Can't deny that. Definitely gelling with this racetrack. Didn't feel 100% a week ago in China. When I spoke to David Carli after the first race 1 week ago, just said he wasn't sure if he was sick or if it was to do with the jet lag, but he had no energy and whatever else. They hoped to get to the bottom of it. Didn't improve for race 2 after he fell at the second corner and had to charge his way through the field, but in the end, the damage was done. Romain Febvre opened up his 47-point advantage, which gave him a monstrous lead coming into this final round. Yes, not done, but you'd rather go in 47 points clear than trailing by 47. And Lucas Coenen knew that. He knew that even if he went out and won every race here this weekend, and Febvre was second in every race this weekend, still wouldn't be enough. And maybe in some respects the pressure of the championship got to him last week as well, who knows? But he certainly doesn't have that hanging around his neck here at the final round with the margin so big coming in. Backhand dancing around as he goes along pit lane, just the other side of that jump. Maybe that's why Coenen is able to ride a little bit more freely this weekend as well. 7 laps to go, they reckon. Romain Febvre now 2 seconds behind Gajser. A massive run of 14 consecutive podiums from round 3 to round 16, where he won all 5 of his Grand Prix as well. I don't think he's done yet, though, with Tim Gajser. 8 minutes plus 2. Looks like he may have taken a breather, you know. Gajser just around the corner ahead of him. Everybody looking silky smooth, though, you've got to say. Lucas Coenen, Jeffrey Herlings, Tim Gajser, Romain Febvre. 4 riders right on the very top of their game. Difficult to split them, really. Looks like such a fun racetrack just to be racing on. It's got that technical element. When the riders were here yesterday for the free practice session, first comments were, oh yeah, it's fast, but then just the nature of the ground, the way that it's been watered and prepped, has allowed it to shape up nicely, offering a massive technical element as well. A high-speed technical circuit where you can't shut off for a minute mentally. Has that physical challenge to it as well. So much under the braking and things like that. Then you've got the heat coming into play, although riders now well schooled this last 2 weeks with China and here. Not causing too many problems. Jan Panzer and Quentin Prunier. These two fighting over 15th position at the moment. Prunier in that 16th place. New to MXGP, of course. Didn't enter the championship until Czech Republic. That was round 14 of 20. Forced to move up from MX2 because, well, I'm not sure if there was a team issue anyway, but with his former team at the start of the year. But also Kevin Horgmo, Alberto Ferrato at Honda Motor Blues SR Motul. They were down to no riders, needed a fill-in, so they went for the Frenchman. Quentin Prunier. Best result so far has been a 13th in race 1 in Sweden. But not easy to go from MX2 to MXGP, 2/3 of the way through the championship campaign. People underestimate the challenge of a bigger bike, more power, heavier motorcycle. Jargo Kietz into the back of Paul Jonas. Yamahas don't like the Kawasaki this weekend, do they? Renault feeling the wrath of it earlier. Right, Seewer going past Brian Bogus. Finally moves up into that 12th place. Pauls Jonas and Jago Kiets coming together a moment ago in that right-hander. Seems to have spurred on the Latvian. Broken free from the Belgian at the moment, to the tune of about, not a lot, about a second. Again, Kiets looking to go around the outside. This was that turn, I'm sure, where we had that incident with Renault and Jonas at the start of the race. Gajser getting closer to Herlings. 1.6 now. So in the final 5 minutes plus a couple of laps, is Gajser fancying his chances here? When you've won 5 titles, it doesn't come without its fair share of racecraft and knowledge, does it, and how to manage a race. Gajser probably thinking, you know what, I can push Herlings all the way, and Herlings is only going to respond for every single one of those laps. So if I just sit back, let him enjoy his moment there in second position, who knows, maybe I will catch him unawares. Don't rule out Romain Febvre as well. Late to the party with 3.5 to go. He's now starting to harass the 243 Honda HRC rider. This race coming to life in the dying moments as Febvre chases that second world title, that elusive second title, since he last won for the first time in 2015. Definitely looks up for the fight here, doesn't he? Will there be a response from Gajser if Febvre finds his way past? But you definitely sense an injection of speed from the Kawasaki rider. Got a third and a fourth, or 2 fourth-place finishes in China. Kept him off the podium a week ago. Does not want to miss the podium here at the final round. And Herlings just ahead of him. Look, that is second, third, fourth in the race. Oh, we've got Wave Medicals here, look, as we go up over the hill. Oh, Jago Kiets apparently is down in this next left-hand turn. Sitting there with the helmet off into that left-hand turn. So a miserable day for Yamaha then at the moment, with Renault going out on lap 1. Not sure if he's okay to start lap 2 and race 2. And Jago Kiets towards the end of the race, under waved yellows and medical flags, as the Belgian sits in the track, sitting upright. And again, not sure what the situation is there, but just as Romain Febvre was starting to tee up a potential pass on Gajser, yeah, he's up on his feet, Jago Kiets, but feeling a little bit second-hand, a bit detuned one way or another. And Gajser now has escaped the clutches of Romain Febvre with, what, maybe 3-4 laps to go? 142 lap times. Coenen, yeah, maybe the 2-lap ball goes out next time around. And you see from the body language now, Romain Febvre up on the pegs. Maybe starting to think about the championship. It's going to be a long 3 laps from here for the number 3. Try and keep his focus. But to his credit, he has maintained his focus throughout the entirety of this 2025 championship campaign. Got the perfect start that he needed. Stayed out of trouble, mixed it for a little bit when he needed to, just to give himself that breathing space from any pursuers. And so far, it's paid off for him. Calvin Verlanderen in 6th place now, as he finds his way past Mattia Guadagnini. Guadagnini wasn't clean out of that penultimate turn. Verlanderen, the only Yamaha left in the race from that Monster Energy squad, now up into 6th. must have been tight on the clock, was it? When Coenen went through to over the finish line, because 3 laps to go. Maybe there was plenty of time left, who knows. Romain Febvre. Now in championship preservation mode. 5 GP victories, 8 times a second place finisher, 3 times a third place finisher, 16 podiums from 19 rounds so far, 14 of them on the bounce. From round 3 to round 16. We'd love to round out the championship, not just as a world champion, but on the podium. You can think about that in race 2, but you can see now, as he holds a 14-second advantage over Ruben Fernandez, he's keeping an eye on what's going on behind him, and just ready to bring this one home. There's never been a world champion who has had the gap, the span of 10 years prior to this weekend. Into the final 2 laps. Lucas Coenen, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, has been absolutely on fire, on point so far this weekend with a qualifying race win. He's leading the way comfortably here in race 1. It's not going to be enough. He knew that anyway. Especially if this guy stayed out of trouble, which he has. Just 2 laps to go then, between Romain Febvre at the checkered flag and a 2nd world title. 13 seconds further back, we've got Ruben Fernandez, 11 now as he hits the line. He did all the hard work earlier on in the season to be able to afford himself the luxury of a round like this. But really, you can look at rounds such as Sweden. Megan, the other half, she knows he's about to cross the line as a world champion. She can't contain her emotions. But that 12th place finish and a 7th place finish in Sweden for Lucas Coenen, and then a 9th and 14th a week ago in China, were the 2 rounds really that made a difference in the end, because there were times when this championship title race between Febvre and Coenen was down to as low as 9 points. But it was Febvre, experience over youth, that has paid off, that has won out in 2025. Coenen, no doubt, will get his opportunity, and plenty of opportunities going forward. But he cannot be disappointed with that, what will be 2nd overall in the championship in his rookie season in the class. More race wins than anybody else this year. 13, he's on course for his 14th. Romain Febvre with just 9, and he's about to be crowned world champion. Coenen into the final lap then. Herlings 6.3 seconds further back. We haven't seen that challenge from him or Gajser. And nor have we seen the challenge from Gajser to Herlings. It looked like we might get it earlier on. And had we not seen that medical flag situation for Jago Geerts, we'll never know now whether Febvre would have found his way past Gajser, or whether he was just flexing his muscles, asserting his authority as world champion to be. The good news is, though, with this championship being decided in race 1, gloves will be off for race 2. And all 4 of these riders, Coenen, Herlings, Gajser, Febvre, maybe even Fernandez and Villana, and who knows, will hopefully put on a fantastic fight to round out 2025 in fine style. But what a weekend it has been so far for Lucas Coenen. Qualifying race win, he's on course for victory in race number 1, his 14th win of the season. Last year, he won 18 races in MX2 on his way to 2nd overall in the championship. This has been just as dominant in terms of race wins. But Lucas Coenen, he will win race 1 here in Australia. But the story will be as he takes 2nd overall in the 2025 championship. Romain Febvre, Antti Pyränen is in tears the man of not so many emotions. I tell you what, he's popped his cork too early down there at Kawasaki. Couldn't contain his excitement. Romain Febvre, finally a two-time world champion, the first in the Premier class for Kawasaki, the first since Sebastian Tortelli in the Premier class since 1998. The first to congratulate him will be Lucas Coenen, but he'll ride into the arms of his team. Febvre can finally breathe a sigh of relief. Antti Piirainen, the team manager, desperate for a world champion over the last few years. And what about Kimi Räikkönen, the man behind the team? He was a Formula One world champion in 2008. He gets his dream of a motocross world champion, and it's Romain Febvre and Kawasaki who deliver on that promise here in Australia. What a journey this guy has been on. What a journey that team has been on in recent years. Came close in 2021, wasn't able to make it happen. Tears of joy, sighs of relief. He can't believe it. He knew he had a fantastic opportunity to get it done here this weekend, but it's not over until it's over. And Romain Febvre is going to get congratulated by his wingman, Paul Jonas. What a job, what a team. Kawasaki on top of the world in MXGP. And Lisa Leyland is with the new world champion, Romain Febvre. Lisa, over to you.
Okay, if I can get a word with him. Romain Febvre. Romain, you're the 2025 MXGP world champion. You have waited 10 years for this moment. You have 2 world titles.
Nothing to say. So many emotions coming up. Yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like I achieved my career. Like that was the ultimate goal. I think to be world champion again, and at least I did it once more. And I don't know what to say. I want to thank Kawasaki, every like Monster Energy, just one all my sponsors. Like I forget for sure, but. It's been a tough year, but I managed it really well. I was really prepared for this, and yeah, came home on the top. So, shout out to Nina at home. Nina, if you are watching, I love you, and we are coming back soon with Maman.
Okay. Congratulations. Enjoy this moment, Romain.
Finally, it sinks in. Romain Febvre can celebrate this title. But Romain Febvre, 10 years apart, a 2-time world champion, is second in MXGP, the first for Kawasaki since 1998, Sebastian Tortelli. And it's only ever been French riders who have won world titles for Kawasaki. Sebastian Tortelli with 2, Michael Machiot, Christophe Pourcel, and now Romain Febvre adding his name to that list. And Everts as well, of course, Belgium. Adding in the one in there as well in 1995, the first ever world champion. But Romain Febvre, what a championship campaign he has had. 9 race wins, 16 podiums coming into this weekend, 5 of those as a winner. Take a look at the highlights. MXGP race 1 then, burst into life. Lucas Coenen with the foxhole shot for the 13th time this year. A couple of riders went off at the start there, but it was Herlings who emerged in second, Febvre third, Gajser quickly into third at the bottom of the hill though as he moved by the championship leader and soon to be world champion. Mattia Guadagnini tried to get in on the act as well, but he stayed put in 5th. Fernandez was around the outside of him. And then this moment on the opening lap, Jonas and Renault colliding together. Renault went down, would not rejoin the race. Not sure if he'll line up for race 2 or not. Gifting and Jonas then battled. Gifting found his way for 9th on lap 5. Gifting would eventually stay there in that 9th position. Febvre then got close to Gajser, but then we had wave medicals and yellow flags at the top of the hill going into the next left-hander, and we just wonder whether he was able to mount an attack on Gajser or not. That rider was Jago Kietz. Vlaanderen eventually came home in 6th position, but it was Lucas Coenen with his 14th race win of the season who went on to win race 1. He secured the silver medal, second overall, back-to-back seasons, MX2 and MXGP. But Romain Febvre celebrates being a two-time world champion. He crossed the line fourth in race one. Kawasaki on top of the world again. For the first time since Porcel's victory in 2006. In either MX2 or MXGP, of course, Courtney Duncan with 4 world titles for them in WMX. But tears of joy, happiness, a lot of emotions underneath that helmet for Romain Febvre. Let's give you the race results. Lucas Coenen wins his 14th race win of the season. Herlings second, Gajser third, Febvre fourth. Ruben Fernandez, Calvin Milano, Tia Guadagnini, seventh for him. Header Glenn Koldenoff. Then we had Isaac Gifting and Paul Jonas picking up 10th. Andrea Bonacorsi, Jeremy Seewer, Brian Bogus, Jan Panzer, Kevin Brumman and Tom Cock. Then behind that, we had Quentin Prunier, Todd Waters, the 34 of Levi Rogers, and then Zach Watson picking up the final point. So 3 Aussies in there, 18th, 19th and 20th. Something for the home fans to cheer about, I'm sure. Take a look at the foxhole shot. $13 now for Lucas Coenen. Already secured that a while ago, but the number 96 with his 19th career podium. It's first since Affion race 1 a couple of rounds ago. Race 1 done and dusted. MXGP done and dusted. All that's left now is for the MX2 title to be decided, and that will happen in race 2 about an hour from now. Take a look at some of the best moments from that first MXGP race, though. Scenes of emotion, cheers of joy and happiness then as Kawasaki win the MXGP World Championship with Romain Febvre. Congratulations to Febvre, Antti Pirinen, Kimi Räikkönen, and everybody working behind the scenes in Lommel. We'll be back in 1 hour for MX2 and MXGP Race 2 here from Australia. We'll see you then.